Hi everyone, this is Janelle from the Customer Success Team at Funnel, and today I wanted to walk you through the steps to troubleshoot a data mismatch. So, firstly, two of the main causes for a data mismatch is either that the data is still too fresh or that the data source configuration is not identical to your query in the native platform. In other words, we should always keep data volatility in mind and make sure that we're comparing apples to apples. So, jumping into step number one to troubleshoot is keeping in mind that the data might be too fresh. Please refer to our article called Data Freshness in our knowledge base to learn a little bit more about this. But in short, data freshness is influenced by factors like specific platform update frequency and metric latency. Since platforms vary in update cycles, some offer near real time data while others finalize metrics after a delay. Recent data may change, requiring caution in immediate decision making. So I would highly recommend going into the actual platforms themselves to see what their import frequencies are. For example, this is Microsoft Advertising import frequencies, and this is Google Ads import frequencies. So you can just go ahead and go into the actual platforms themselves and see what their import frequencies are, but they vary from platform to platform. In general, we do want to keep in mind that it is best practice in marketing to not look at data from that specific day. We usually recommend to give it up to 3 days to give 100% data accuracy. Anything less than that could still be very volatile. Moving on to step number two is making sure that the configuration is identical to the query in the native platform. So we recommend that you always make sure that the query that you have in your native platform matches what you see in the data source configuration and funnel, which you can find over in the definition label in the data sources page. You can go ahead and find that over here and see exactly how you configured that data source and compare that it exactly matches the configuration that you're looking at in your native platform. There are two side notes to this is some report types will filter out data, so double checking this is also important. For example, if you want to view the total spend for your ad accounts but have connected a keyword report, which will only show you a subset part of your data, this will then not match to the totals. And as an example, if you have selected the dimension country in your data source configuration, please make sure to include it in your native platform query as well. The third one is to check your Data Explorer filters. With this, keep in mind it's not the selection in Data Explorer that matters, it's your data store configuration, which determines what data we import into Funnel. With this, check your Data Explorer filters since the dimension and metric filters chosen in the Data Explorer will affect the results in your query. So go ahead and make sure that they're set as intended and they reflect the filters or the data that you have within the native platform itself. You can find the filters here. So just make sure that whatever filter you have for dimensions or metrics matches what you're seeing in the native platform itself. And also this filter up here, just in case you might be filtering on a specific data source type or on a specific data source. Step number four is only comparing raw data. So we recommend that you always compare raw data without any filtering, custom fields, or saved views. This means that we should only use the native fields that have been imported from your native platforms instead of the custom fields created in Funnel. Right here, we have an example of a custom field versus a native field in Funnel. So as you can see, a custom field has a little shapes next to it, and a native field has the actual native platform's logo right next to it. Number five is checking for the date range. So we can go ahead and check for the date range in Data Explorer over here. So we would highly recommend that this matches what the exact date range that you're looking at in the native platform. Also keep in mind that if you're looking at the last 14 days, it could be different from the last full 14 days. Moving on to step number six, data duplication. So are you seeing a double counting warning in the Data Explorer? If you have connected multiple data sources to the same ad account, either on purpose or by accident, there is a risk of data duplication. You can open the warning to get more insight on what might be causing it. If you see this warning, please go to our data deduplication or connect the same source twice with different dimensions articles to get instructions on how to create a data set to deduplicate the data. The error will look like this if you have multiple data sources connected for the exact same ad account. So you just click into it and you can see exactly where that double counting can occur. Moving on to step number seven, check source status. So is your data source importing data as expected? You can check your data source page under status for any credential issue, import delays, and other possible problems. Check that the data has been imported for the days you are expecting to see in funnel. The data might also be downloading, which is completely normal, and the download of historical data can take quite some time depending on platform. And this kind of goes back to what we were discussing in the beginning of this video regarding data freshness. So jumping into the data sources tab, you can see the status over here. And if you click into that specific data source, you can also see the last time it was imported. Jumping into step number 8 to troubleshoot is to check the currency. So if you're comparing cost data, make sure that your currency in Data Explorer is the same as you're using in the native platform. So when you're in the Data Explorer, make sure that the currency is exactly the same currency that you're visualizing in the native platform. Step number 9 is check custom metrics unit. So if you've created a custom metric that uses monetary values, make sure that the unit has been set to monetary instead of number, since currency conversion will not apply to custom metrics with the number unit. So jumping into the metrics tab, you can go ahead and see if that specific custom metric that you created is set to monetary or set to number. You can go ahead and edit it here. Moving on to step number 10 is check ad account ID. So this is just cross-referencing that you're looking at the same ad account as you have connected in funnel. So you can check this from the data origin identifier in your data sources page, which should correspond to your ad account ID that you're seeing in the native platform. So you can go ahead and just click on choose columns if you don't already have this in your data sources tab view, and you could include data origin identifier and just double check that it's the same ad account ID. And then step number 11 is to check our knowledge base for common issues with the connector. So we can go ahead and head to our knowledge base, and you can type in, for example, Facebook ads troubleshooting. And then there you go. You can have a couple solutions here that you can look through and see if they're applicable to you. As a side note, this is only for our largest connector, so we don't have a troubleshooting article for every single connector. And then lastly, the last step, if all of the above hasn't been applicable and you still see the data mismatch, then we would highly recommend to reach out to our support team at support@funnel.io or through our in-app chat, and they'd be happy to help you troubleshoot then. All right, that's it for me. Hopefully this was helpful. And if you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to our support team. Thank you. Bye.